Let's see, we're live. Hey,
Hey,
guys.
hi.
Welcome to the channel. It's been a little while since we went live, but it is cool to hang out here with Matthew, Sir Matticus. What do you want people to call you?
Matt.
Matt. Okay, I like that. That is Matt. We literally met, 2 days ago?
Yes.
We did.
It was glorious.
Some mutual friends. We live probably 2,000 miles apart.
Yes.
Which is good, but I found out...
I live here in Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan. And hold on, put your hand up. So if you're here in Michigan, you'll be here in Michigan. I'm going to be like up here in Saskatchewan, way over here. Anyway, Matt is a recently full-time eBay-er / flipper.
Yes, full time.
Which I'm sure that's a wild journey, but what we want to use this video for is have a chance to... I have so many questions because I recently went to the dollar store because I saw you could get a pack of hockey cards here, which in Canada is a very popular thing. $1 for 15 hockey cards, and I've been listening to Gary Vee, and he's got this flip challenge, and I was like, I wonder if I could sell 6 of them for $1 and make $6. And I was like, wait, what would my eBay fees be? I'd put shipping on top. I had all these questions. I was like, I got to figure this out. Now I'm like, I could just ask you, and we could figure it out. Easier moderation. This is nice. UCT says, sup, guys? What is up? Anyway, there's people here and hanging out. So this video is going to be me grilling you with all of my eBay questions and you answering them. And obviously you guys, if you want to get in on the comments and ask. First question is, how did you get into flipping?
So I got into flipping. First, I love thrifting.
Okay.
Garage sales, Salvation Army, antiques. I just loved going into those places and looking. It was like treasure hunting. Mm-hmm. And then I ran into a friend of mine who I had known several years back. I ran into him at a Goodwill, which is a big thrift store in the States. And I said, what are you doing here? He said, I'm working. I said, you're working? He said, I sell on eBay full time. Wow. So we got into a conversation, and he said, I'm making 6 figures. He said, my brother-in-law is doing $250,000 a year, snowmobile parts. And it just blew my mind because I was just in there because I loved to be in there.
Right.
So I did a little more research, talked to another friend who sold on Etsy.
Yep.
Okay. And I got into Etsy a little bit. I didn't really like it. And then he showed me how to use eBay. And so from there on, I just started finding things and it went from there.
So you were doing it for a time, you were part-time, you had a real job.
Had a real job.
And then obviously it was going well enough that you were like, I think I can quit my job and do this full time.
Yeah, so my real job, I had the opportunity to drive around a lot. So throughout the day, I'd stop at thrift stores, garage sales, and I would, I'd buy and then I would take it home and I would list it. And I just loved it. And I just talked with my wife a lot about it. And I hated my job. I didn't like my job. And we just talked a lot about it. And I probably talked about it for... probably a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I really didn't, I had a hard time believing that I could really do it. Because it's scary. It's full-time commission. And then I had two things happen. One, I was in an estate sale and I ran into a lady. She had picked up a chair that I was going to buy. It was a very valuable chair. She had it and anyways, we talked about selling on eBay, and I just told her, I said, I want to sell on eBay full-time. I want to be able to be at home with my wife and kids. And the conversation was over, and she came and found me, and she said, now's the time. You can do it. And it really hit me deeply. And Did
she give you the chair?
No.
Oh.
No.
That would have helped.
It was a $4 chair she paid $15 for.
Wow.
So, and then also I was watching Gary Vee videos on Instagram, and just the idea that most people are going to stick with jobs they don't like for the rest of their life, and that you really have to, if you want, and there's that saying, if you want something you've never had, if you want something you've never had, you got to do something you've never done. Yeah. And so I went to my boss and I said, hey, I want to shift how we're working. I want to go to an hourly rate. I was a salary employee, and I said I was a maintenance guy, and I said I want to just work hourly when needed. Yeah. And he said, turn in your letter of resignation. You don't really need to be here. And so he kind of tried to get me to stay. Yeah. But it was right on the wall for me that I'm going to go for it. So in November, November was
You're
my.
still alive?
I'm
6 months?
Yeah, 6 months, and it's actually gone very well. I've done pretty good, and I love it. And it's strange to have your time. It's very
Sure.
strange.
Yeah,
So.
definitely
Yeah.
different. What kind of stuff primarily do you sell?
So I enjoy and primarily sell vintage items, which would mean to me
Yeah.
80s and 90s items.
Okay.
So one of my first big flips was a Super Soaker I paid $1 for, sold it for $125.
Which one?
It's the
Soaker?
backpack, big
Oh,
backpack Super Soaker.
yeah.
And so
You bought it for $1 and sold it for what?
125. So I started doing that, and I just realized that vintage stuff is very, very
Nostalgia,
very
right?
nostalgic. Yes, but I also, I mean, you can if you go on eBay, you can see what's selling, and everything's selling. So I would say you can really sell anything.
Okay. Yeah.
If you have it listed, people are looking for it. But I personally enjoy vintage nostalgic stuff the most. G.I. Joes right now are very, very hot. The G.I. Joes, He-Man, all that kind of stuff.
I have a friend who recently went down a dark pit of G.I. Joes, and he spent $2,500 building a collection of G.I. Joes that, who knows, maybe bought some stuff from you.
Yeah.
Do you ship to Canada?
I do ship to Canada.
Okay, it could have been that. Stubby, hello, we are hungry. Hey, thanks for the shout out and buying that lens. Part of it, I mean, we've got a camera tech primarily channel here, but one of the things I've been thinking about is finding ways to make a few bucks to buy some gear and be able to do other things. I also am on a mission. I'm going to buy a Porsche someday. It's part of I love cars, and there's kind of this idea I had rolling in my head for a long time that emotional purchases were bad purchases. And I've kind of come to reconcile that, no, it's okay to make emotional, at times, unwise, provided you're taking care of your family and other things you need. But the idea of buying something because you love it is okay.
Right.
But
That's my business. I mean, I just recently sold a G.I. Joe for $575. And I imagine it was an emotional purchase.
An emotional purchase.
Because who needs a G.I. Joe
so
for $575?
there's a woman here in Saskatchewan. She has such a serious Barbie collecting addiction, some people might say. Her husband was so sick of her taking up all the rooms with her Barbie collection, they built a second story on their house. She has $200,000, I believe is the number, worth of Barbies that they built a second story on their house just to house the Barbie collection.
That's incredible.
It's probably not a wise purchase, but they're okay. Like, they're not like, their kids are grown and gone out of the house, and
Right.
they're
well,
eating
she
and
walks
they're surviving.
in there and she feels like she's walking into her childhood. And
Absolutely.
That's the thing. That's what
It's
people
that
love.
feeling.
It.
That's me. Cars that remind me of being a teenager. There's something special about. Do you remember the time? I don't know if you ever had a job. I remember working at McDonald's when I was 16, and when I got my paycheck, I could spend the entire paycheck on whatever I wanted, and those were the best.
Yes.
Literally the whole paycheck. What am I going to spend this paycheck on? I don't know.
Right.
That's special, man. Different times. Jesse Ellert is asking, any tips getting around Canada's terrible shipping costs? Well, funny thing is, so Matt, you're from the U.S.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know if you have any tips. I know that my wife has a friend who was looking at starting a business, but because of the shipping in Canada, she couldn't do it.
Well, my advice would be, you have what people want, and there's a way. I ship to Canada. People from Canada are buying from me, so they're paying that cost. So if you're selling things that people want, which I believe that you're going to find what people want, it's out there, and so they will pay the shipping. And if they don't pay the shipping, maybe increase your price a little bit and try to work in free shipping,
Right.
which some people do. But people want what you have, and so they will pay the shipping for it.
When you're shopping for stuff, is it that you go, oh, these things are really hot or interesting right now, so I'm going to learn and dig into those? Or are you more driven by, these are the things I have interest in already, and I get excited about, I know about them, those are the things I'm going to sell? Like, how do you navigate those two?
When I go into a thrift store, I'm looking for vintage toys, and I rarely find them. So in Goodwill in the U.S., which is the major thrift store chain, they have Shop Goodwill, which is an online.
Okay.
And really, so when say G.I. Joe's coming to a Goodwill, they're not putting them on the floor.
Right.
They're sending them to
They
Shop
know.
Goodwill. So, but in my mind, I enjoy finding toys or vintage stuff. So that's what I'm looking for. But I look up and down every aisle, and vintage stereo equipment, or it doesn't even have to be vintage. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I think that might be valuable. So here's the process.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I think this might be valuable. I
Yeah.
pull up my phone. I pull up the eBay app.
Yeah.
I type in the serial or the model number of whatever I'm looking up. I click over to sold, and then I click. Then I drop it down to highest price. So sold for the highest.
Okay.
So it automatically populates what has been selling, how much they've been selling it for. So I can say, oh, this is $12. They're going for $70, $75. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
So for me, I love the shopping part. So it's not really work. I look up and down every aisle, and sometimes sometimes I'll go in and not buy anything. But most of the time, I leave spending $20, $30, which is going to turn into a few $100s.
So you end up finding something. You're like, great. You come home and you store it in a bedroom, or
so the way it works is you bring it in the house. This is how it should work.
okay.
It doesn't always work this way. So when I was working full time, I would bring it in. I was excited I had it. I know it's valuable. I'd set it down, and then my life would go on.
Yeah.
So. But really, the best way that I found it, you bring it in, you take it right to where you're listing, you have a listing time, and you sit down, and it's very simple. You can, so when you're ready to list, what you do, you just pull up the eBay site.
Yep.
You pull up the item that you're listing, and you find it already sold, and so then you can click.
You can like copy and paste their description.
Yeah. So what you do? Well, you don't necessarily want to copy and paste your description,
Exactly.
but you can say someone like this.
Oh, okay.
And so it will bring up.
Oh, like pre-populate some of that stuff.
Some of that stuff.
Oh, that's smart.
You want to change the description a little bit, and major advice would be very clear on your descriptions. Don't try to be deceptive in any way. Some people, it's got a little scratch. I don't want to put this in the picture.
Right.
You want to be fully honest with your listings. I've had 2 returns, and they were just damaged in the mail, not because it wasn't described correctly.
Right.
You want to be. I'm a top-rated seller.
Right.
You want to be very above board on that.
Yeah.
So
it's not worth risking your reputation.
it is not
over.
worth it at all. And you're in a mutual agreement with someone. You have something they want. They have something you want. I want their money. They want this item. And it's like a fair handshake. So then you bring it up, you pull it up, and what I personally do, I don't know if other people do this or not, but I pack it right away. So in the U.S., you get free priority mail boxes, and I don't know if in Canada
Really?
you get free boxes
No.
for shipping. But what I do is I have my scale, I ship it, I pack it right away so I can put the accurate dimensions into so whoever's buying can know exactly what they're paying for shipping.
So you would take your photos of it and then you pack it.
Yep. And you always want to use, so eBay offers 12 photos.
Yep.
Take as many photos as you can.
Yep.
Take clear photos of any blemishes.
Yep.
And then, so I take all my photos, I pack it so I can put the correct dimensions, and then I categorize it, so when I sell it, I can just go grab it off the shelf. So I
need to know this. What is your little photo studio? What does that consist of?
Right now I'm currently building a garage, so my photo studio is down. So,
but I saw your photos now. They look great on your items. They're clean, clear, white background.
Yep. So I just have a table with a white, a white paper.
Yep.
Just a typical white paper, and I have just some LED lights.
Okay.
So I don't have any really nice
like
lighting
these
gear.
kind of like little lighting panels.
No, they're
just
actually
like
just 4-foot light bulbs.
Okay. Yeah.
And but I have lots of lighting is important. So I have it overhead and then the side. And so then I just take my pictures right there.
You mentioned Canon 7D.
It's
fairly simple. And then you just drop pictures on your computer. Do you edit them or just?
So I have an easy share. So then I just edit it. I just edit it there on my phone. It goes right to my phone. So then I edit it and I list it right away.
Yeah.
And so then I don't do auctions. And so a lot of times people think eBay, they think auctions. The only time I've ever auctioned anything is if I really have no idea of the value. I had some Planet of the Apes toys. I paid $40 for them. I put them on there for $120. Started the auction at $120. It went up to $150 or something like that. So, but I don't typically do that. Typically, what I do and I find works the best is you start as a buy it now. So I see that this item has sold for $50. I'm going to put it on there $50. Buy it now. Or best offer, and I take best offers. It helps people to believe, and it is that they can make. They're negotiating.
They're reasonable because some people need a deal.
Right.
Some people need a deal. A couple questions here. Stubby4000 says, do you clean the pieces you buy?
I do. When I get anything, I clean it real well. Shoes, and I have a friend, my friend Michael, he sells on eBay. He doesn't really clean them. He just puts it on there. And for me, if I'm looking at items, a pair of shoes, and there's a pair of shoes for 50 or a pair of shoes for 40, and the 40s look dirty,
Right.
you're going to go for the $50 shoes.
Right.
So when I get an item, I sell a lot of vintage boots, Red Wings and stuff like that. I clean them up the best I can.
Yeah.
I lace them nicely so they look good. I'll even polish them because I just think it's more appeal.
Absolutely. CCPR1. How can you avoid other sellers on the same category? I think they buy for me to put me a request as not as described. I'm top-rated seller. Sell watches in the beginning. I have buyer pay label that caused me many false returns to avoid pay label. I don't know. Some English. Now eBay is charging me 4% on that category for not as described. I changed policy to seller pay label. Seller pay. Would there be a situation? I think he's saying people buy from him, and then competitors, and then are returning it saying it's not as described. So somebody's trying to screw him over there, which is not good.
Off the top of my head, I have never experienced that. What I would say is, if you're suspicious of it, you can block those buyers.
Oh, okay.
And so they can't buy from you.
Oh, interesting.
And then I would present your case to eBay. Are you accurately describing? Only you would know that.
Right.
But you can present your case to eBay and say, this is an accurate description.
Right.
This is what I believe is going on. But I've never dealt with that. I over-describe, I would say, because I don't want there to be any question about what you're getting.
I'm trying to remember where I interrupted you. Okay, so you got them in the boxes. You were able to pull them off the shelf. Obviously, you don't do auctions typically.
Right.
People are going through, they're doing buy it now, or they're offering it, and then I guess you sell them.
So, and what I do, some people, you can do a 30-day period, or you can do the option of until it ends or it cancels. I don't know if that's the right word, but it stays up there, so it renews every month.
Yeah.
In what happens, so this is important to know. So if you're 100, I believe it's 100 items or less, eBay lets you do it for free.
Okay.
So they let you
100 items a month, a year?
A month.
A month.
Okay. So now if you're listing over, so if I have 100 items, they can sit on there for free.
Yeah.
I'm not paying anything but the 10%.
Okay.
Now if you're going,
that's what eBay's cut is of items.
10%.
10%. Okay.
And then PayPal's 3%.
Yeah.
So now if you're doing more items, you got to purchase a store. You got to pay for a store subscription. So I have the $25 store subscription, and it gives me 250, a minimum of 250 free listings. And if you go on eBay and look up, you can see the different store categories. Sure. But what that does is it gives you free listings up to a certain amount. But if you're keeping a store like I do, where you have it's staying in your inventory, you have to buy a store because it's renewed every month. So if I have 250 and I keep listing items, next month it's going to be 350.
Yeah.
And instead of paying a certain dollar amount per item, or it's like 30 cents or whatever, you want to do a store subscription.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, and then I also do promoted items, and I've been kind of back and forth on that because. But for an example, like if you're going to sell a Harley Davidson leather jacket, I bought a Harley Davidson jacket for $40. I ended up selling for $150. But in the sea of leather Harley Davidson, so I ended up paying out about $25 in a promotion cost. But for me, I paid $40 for it.
Right.
So to me, it's worth doing it. Yeah. So.
Fascinating. Yeah. Okay, so 10% they take, regardless of who you're selling. That's typically what the eBay seller fee is. Yes. And then if you're under 100 items, you're not paying anything other than the 10% and then the PayPal cost of 3%.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe.
Something like that. I want to see. I'm just curious. I'm going to open I had scissors here once upon a time. There's some scissors. I want to go through the process with you where I'm going to find a hockey card where I'm like, hey, I think this card might be worth something. Okay. And then you show me how we find out what it's actually been worth. So, Ryan Johan. Oh, these are some classics. Dave Toms. Doug Crow. I was curious to see what they did with these cards that I figured out quickly was Upper Deck is the most kind of prestigious cards. Okay. And most of them you go, oh, Upper Deck. They're all Upper Deck. But I could kind of see in the sound, like, they're not all Upper Deck. So some of them are I don't even know. Oh, Dan Cluche,
Lower
Team
Deck.
Canada. Yeah, Upper Deck. There's some like score cards, Parkhurst. These are not the best cards, but I'm just trying to see which one would be the most valuable. Like this O-Pee-Chee card, you can feel this.
Oh, yeah.
Feel the difference between
But
that.
he's Detroit
and,
Red Wings, so that's awesome card.
Yeah, it's something, but feel the difference between that and that card.
Oh, yeah.
Is Sandis Ozolinsh. Okay, that could be interesting. These are some class. Martin Urat, Mark Stahl. Not bad. You know what? I'm actually, all things considered, kind of happy. Upper Deck Classic Portraits.
So how much did you pay for this?
I paid $1.
Okay.
And I got 15 cards. It seemed like most cards were listed at like 99 cents or $1
Okay.
plus shipping.
Okay.
And then, but they wouldn't all be selling depending. Like some of these, like I don't think anybody's going to care about unless it's Dave Tomlinson's family, but they probably would have nicer cards than this one right here. But let's pick a classic. Is this, what brand is it? Oh, this is an Upper Deck. Let's see if we can find this card on eBay and what it's worth. Are you ready for this?
You pull my phone out?
Yeah, pull your phone out.
My phone might.
You don't have to show the audience what this. So this is a Dan Cluche, Team Canada, Upper Deck card. World Junior Championships.
Okay.
Okay, so Dan, D-A-N.
So
or however you want to do
I'm going to
this.
show you this here.
Okay.
So what's really cool about
Yeah.
eBay's app is it allows you, it does like a facial recognition.
Seriously? Oh my goodness.
So let me go like this.
So you can scan items and it'll like find out what it is? Potentially?
Potentially. So we're taking a picture of it.
Oh, and I can search to match it. There may be one that's slightly more popular. That's a weird card, I'll tell you that right. Ice hockey trading cards.
Okay, yep. So it's not John Elway.
No. Surprisingly, no.
Let's try this one more time.
This is cool if this works. Gonna try and scan. There, that's. Oh, was that the card you. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
So we're going to go here to, if you have your eBay app, you're going to go to filters.
Top right filter, yeah.
You're going to scroll down to, oh, I don't think you can do it with the camera.
Oh, to see the sold?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. But
Let's go like this though.
Okay.
Well, that was showing the list, but let's put it in this way. So
it's Dan,
Dan,
and then Cluche, C-L-O-U. Yeah. Oh, T-I-E-R. And this is World Junior Championships. See if that. So I see one. This one's no,
That's a
slightly
secret.
different. That
Okay,
is that a
sweet.
signed one? No, it's still a little different.
so we'll just go here.
Sure.
So then we'll go to filter, drop down to the sold items.
Okay.
So we can go to done here. And he's not in there. Let's see here.
Nothing for that card, hey? Interesting.
Let me see it though. It's in there.
You're sure it's in there. I'm going to open up another pack here. This could be fun. If nothing else, this is fun for me because I want to figure this out. Corey Schneider.
Just put up
This
upper
is a good
deck in
one.
here.
Oh, yeah, upper. Oh, yeah, like help. Jeff. Like, what if. There's always this, like, thing. Ooh, Gielfoot scorecard. There's always this thing in my heart of hearts where I'm like, what if I find a Wayne Gretzky rookie card that they accidentally put in here? Which is not going to happen, but you never know.
And this is the fun part, is seeing what the value of something is. It's
like this little high when you find out that thing's worth money.
oh yeah. Let's see here. I just tried this again, but I don't know if it's gonna let me.
It's funny. They're like similar style cards, but
Mm-hmm.
we could pick a new. Why don't we? Here, let's take. This is like a newer card.
Okay.
Try that one. See if that does anything.
So
Xena
Corey.
Pod, Darren Pang. Oh, this guy's a very popular broadcaster right now.
Corey Schneider, upper deck.
Jermaine Ellis, hey, what's up, Justin? I haven't seen you on YouTube in some time. I know you guys. I think we might be getting back to like more regular content. There's been a few life changes going on here. If you watch my last Porsche video, you'll find out more about that. But I don't even know. Are there? Oh, there's people. There's like 13 people hanging out here. If you guys are curious about camera tech, it's just the EOS R 35mm 1.8 streaming live through Elgato. Tim Tom.
Found some gold.
Well, yes and no. This guy, Tim Thomas. He was a goalie, and my team went to the Stanley Cup final, like the last, and was going to win, but he got super hot, and he beat us in 7 games. We lost Stanley Cup final to this guy. And this is an MVP card, which could be interesting.
Let's check this out.
Ooh, what is this? Between the... Oh, Jimmy Howard. John Drews. That is a cheap hockey card. Pat LaFontaine! Oh! What is... Team Canada National Junior Team. What'll you... Nothing?
Not yet.
Wow, this is harder than I thought.
And I don't have... I am not a card guy.
Oh, there it is.
So I don't have a whole lot of experience with cards. Yeah, see. This one sold itself. We're going to find one here.
We'll keep going. Figure this out. Try that one just for fun. That is a cheap hockey card, but if it works... Oh, this is fun. Question to the audience, you guys. If you're watching, if you're a tech person, I'm actually curious. What are you guys shooting with these days? Your body you're shooting with and your favorite lens, if you're a tech person. And if not, or if you're here and you have any questions, guys, feel free to answer them. eBay or not, happy to do that. Can you see a difference selling between a basic and a premium store for actually selling?
I haven't really noticed that. It's just because of the amount of listings. I think that's really the only benefit to it. So here's this guy.
Yeah.
So here's its.
For sale for $13. Oh, it's sold for $13.75.
Yeah. So this one obviously has been whatever you call.
Well, it's like in a special package.
Right.
Oh, mint. I need to get some of these packages. Oh, this is his rookie card. Curtis Joseph score rookie card.
$15.69.
Yo, that's US dollars too. I paid $3 for all these cards. This one's worth $15 US. That's like $20 Canadian.
Boom.
20 times it already. Take that, Grant Cardone. Wow. All right. I'm going to try not to get my greasy fingers all over that. I need to find some of these like special card case things.
I think you have. So that was a graded card. So that's why it was so much. So it was graded.
What is it?
So graded would be...
Oh, like somebody's actually gone through the process of... Oh, okay.
Let's see this guy. I want to see if I can get this picture to work. So it's really nice also. You can... Amazon also allows you to do the scan.
Oh,
you can do barcode scan. So I look up a lot of items on Amazon. So another place that I source is there's a store near me where they buy the Amazon returns, and I'll go into the store and I'll buy anything. I buy crazy stuff from him. I bought a 2014 NCAA football game, which the 2014 NCAA is very valuable because it was the last year that EA Sports had a contract with the NCAA.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because they were making money off the college athletes. So I bought this at this. It was an Amish store.
Yeah.
Where they sell the Amazon returns. It was brand new. I paid $2.99 for it. Sold it for $200. It was great. And so I looked it up on Amazon because sometimes it's not on eBay.
Right.
But you can see what things are going for Amazon. And people do sell used items on Amazon. So it's another way to...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you value items where the value is more debatable? For example, in a book published by Harrods called Making History, the Harrods Way, 1849-2011. Harrods, a department store specialized in serving the super rich, and it's very significant to UK history. Only way to get the book was to work for Harrods at the time, and it was published, only 3,000 were made. Have you ever found stuff where you're like, I think this could be valuable, but I don't know?
That's difficult. If you haven't found one sold on eBay, it's very difficult. So a couple times, what I would do is I would look at comparable books. Obviously you're not going to find the same one that's comparable, but see what books that are rare are comparable and put on there. Another option you have, if you're looking at selling and flipping full time, is WorthPoint. So WorthPoint is it's an app or a website.
Like a paid subscription?
It's a paid sub a month, which is kind of costly, but if you're doing it full time.
Yeah.
And what they do is they store like years of eBay sales. So you can look up items. Often if you look up an item on Google, it'll pull up WorthPoint, and they won't show you the price because they want you to get the subscription. But if something is worth thousands of dollars, you might as well do a free subscription for 30 days to see what the value is. I've had it. I've used it. But most of the stuff that I'm coming across isn't that rare.
Right.
But books are hot. I mean, I've sold some rare books, and I wasn't able to find any comparison, so I just put it up there for what I would have been happy to make. And that's the key.
That's an interesting part too.
You have to
what are you
decide.
happy to make?
Yes, you have to decide what you're willing to take. I sadly just sold. I had some beautiful condition Centurions toys, 80s toys, and they were in mint perfect, awesome condition. I didn't want to sell them, but I still made $125 off of these guys. And I probably could have made more, but at the end of the day, I made a lot of money off of it.
Right.
And I don't want to let it go, but I'm making money, so...
Yeah, it works out pretty well there.
Yes.
Gerald Bertram just made a switch to Sony full frame, shooting with the A7 II. Couldn't pass up crazy sale with Sony 85mm FE 1.8. That is actually a great budget view, and yeah, he put some good glass on it. It's gonna be fantastic. So nice work.
So you would know these guys more than me. I
Well,
think
some
so
of them,
if we get some rookie
some of this
cards.
that's not a rookie card. This is an All-Star Classic All-Star from the Pro set. I don't know,
Let's check this guy out. Well, we know with that one card, we're already making some money.
Oh, this is there we go. This is a rookie card.
Let's see here.
Martin Urat. He's not the greatest player in the world. Whereas this guy, Curtis Joseph, was quite well known. Tyler Wright, no, don't know. But you never know. You never know. Doug Crossman, Kim Bond. There's probably serious card enthusiasts who are like, why are you not wearing gloves? So I'm like, it's just an experiment, guys. But they had 100 of these packs there where I'm like, $100? Who knows what could happen to that? NHL Pro Set Player of the Year. Brett Hull. This guy was serious. Quite serious.
Oh, Brett Hall, yeah.
Yeah, even you know
Yeah.
Brett Hull.
Let's see here.
OPG. Jeff Bookaboom. The next question is, if you find something you love, how do you decide whether to sell it or keep it?
It's very difficult. And
Imagine.
so
What was the last thing you kept? Both those questions from Stubby.
the last thing I kept in
You
this...
kept it. You maybe wanted to sell, but you kept it.
Well, in keeping it is a relative term because I still may sell it.
Right.
And that's the thing
I guess
is,
that's true.
I had to decide that I'm in a fortunate situation. I'm in a risky situation.
Sure.
But I quit my job to sell things that are valuable to provide for my family and support my living. So there are going to be very few things. I mean, some of the G.I. Joes I've sold, I didn't want to sell because they're once in a lifetime G.I. Joes, and I've ran across three of some of the more rare ones, and I decided to sell them because if I'm selling a G.I. Joe for $300, and I bought a lot of G.I. Joes for next to nothing, and I can sell one for all of it. So I have to let myself be detached from that,
Right.
and
Yeah.
but
So I
so
want to actually sell for 99 cents.
I don't know yet. So just like I said about the Centurions, I didn't want to sell those, but it's like, do you want to go to work tomorrow? Well, you got to go to work if you're going to get paid. So really, going to work for me is selling things I don't want to sell. Right. I bought a pair of
These are all numbered.
mid-century modern stools. And so when you're looking, and I would say the two things to keep in mind. One, you can do this. Anybody can do it. Everywhere I go, when I go to Goodwill and I talk to the people standing behind the counter making minimum wage, I say, you work in a minefield, not a minefield.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I know, yeah. A gold mine.
A gold mine, yeah. So you see what's coming in.
Yeah.
You can sell full-time on eBay. Or you can make, even if you made another $200 a week selling on eBay.
Yeah, some side income.
But you can do it.
Yeah.
And so you always want to be looking. So I went to this garage sale. It's kind of earlier on, and I looked at this pair of stools. Flip it over and look at the name. Look at the manufacturer, and so this manufacturer was Finsfen. That sounds rare. I mean, it sounds So I look it up. These stools are going for $450. So I ended up paying $4 for the two stools. I sold it to I believe, a professional baseball player in Japan. So because I looked up his profile, but I mean, he paid $450 for these stools. I would have liked to keep them. They were
Sure.
cool stools.
Yeah, but
$450. But and the thing is, everywhere you go, if you're looking, you're going to find something.
Right.
You know,
it's a shift in mentality almost.
It is.
It's just keeping your eyes open whenever you're out and about and you see something. And if you have your phone with you, that's what I didn't realize.
Yes.
I didn't realize how kind of easy it is.
Yes.
Punch the thing in, flip over to the sold tab. What'd it go for? Like it's a 60-second or less thing to find out, can I make some money here? Like you said, it's a good way to fund all sorts of things on the side. If you fall in love with it and get good at it, like clearly you've done.
Right.
And it seems like you're wired, you enjoy the process.
I do.
You enjoy the process, so obviously that means full time. But for me, I'm like, I don't know if I enjoy the process of listing all of these, but if it is like, you can go through, maybe it's a little bit of a gamble. You go through and you go, hey, that one's probably going to be worth at least $10.
Right.
You know, even
Right.
ungraded. It's
Right.
like, okay, well,
Yes.
$10 I paid $3 for all these. Hey, I'm up $7. And in some ways, there's something fun about that.
It is very
Where I'm
fun.
like, if I did the math and all my time, you know, at this level, but it's like I was doing it anyway. I was at the dollar store. I had that mindset on. I noticed the hockey cards and went, these are only $1. You get 15 in them? There's got to be something in here.
Right.
Grab it. Off you go.
And another thing that you can consider is buying shoes are another big thing. And I just want to put this out there. I've gone to, I don't know if there's Marshalls here.
Yep.
Okay, so I've gone to Marshalls and bought LeBron kids shoes.
Yeah.
And you buy them on clearance and you resell them. And I'm making $40-$50 a pair. And
Wow.
it's just so fun. It's exciting. But,
Is
yeah.
it final sale? Because it'd be funny to buy them, try and sell them. If it didn't, return them.
Right. I've done that. Yeah, I've
Why
done
not?
that. Yeah, and you got 90 days or whatever
Yeah.
to return them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go into Walmart or wherever,
Yeah.
go to the clearance. And a guy who kind of mentored me through two conversations. I ran into a gentleman at Goodwill. He clearly was a flipper.
Yeah.
I struck up a conversation with him, and he sells on Amazon. And that's a whole nother thing. I've never gotten into
Right.
Amazon. I know that's a whole whole nother monster. But we just began talking. He's telling me he buys shoes and he resells them. And it was funny. He told me I'm projected to make $1 million in sales this year.
Wow.
He hires a couple of people part time.
For sure.
I ra-
Listing, do all yeah.
I ran into him 6 months later. He said, I just hit the $1 million on Amazon. So those kind of stories are what motivated me and should motivate you that you can do it.
Yeah.
You can break out of your situation, and you can
do it from anywhere.
You can do it from anywhere. And who doesn't want more money? I mean, it's just great, man.
That's super, super cool. Anyway, thanks for your time, Matt.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
It was fun, yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't know, if you guys have more questions, drop them on this video. If you're still watching after the fact live, it'll still be around. And I saw our wives peering in a few minutes ago, and I'm like, I think it is time to go.
All right.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
See you later till next time. And I'm going to try and end this at the right time here. Oh, I see. Okay. Dave and Linda's whenever. Oh, I guess now.